My name is Justin Kenny, and I'm the District Manager for the Winooski Natural Resources Conservation District. Stormwater is a major concern for two main reasons. One is water quality. So all the stormwater runoff that's coming off of driveways, parking lots, and rooftops, it's hitting the ground, and it's carrying with it pathogens, chemicals. It's all bringing those either directly into a stream or river or into a storm drain. The other thing is water quantity. A typical house in a 1-inch rainstorm is about 189 gallons of water. We get 40 inches of rain in Vermont in a year on average. So that adds up to around 7,500 gallons, which is huge. Average Vermonter can actually do a lot to mitigate the impacts of stormwater. And there's two main things. One is to store water, and you can do that with the use of a rain barrel. Rain barrels are pretty popular. Over the past 2 years, actually in South Burlington alone, we've distributed about 200 rain barrels. And you can see that the water's coming down from the gutter. So there's actually a few holes that were cut down on the top, and there's a screen on top. Catches debris, so it doesn't clog up in the bottom. But it also keeps mosquitoes from breeding inside of this. And then on the bottom is the faucet. This whole thing to build on your own, you're probably talking about maybe $20 to $25. So a lot of people will use that water to either wash their car or water their gardens. They're saving water quality and they're saving money, which is great. In a normal situation where you have an asphalt or a concrete driveway, the water hits and it runs off. It has nowhere to go, except off. So with the pervious driveways, you're talking about creating a surface that has holes in it, so the water can hit, go down, and percolate down to the groundwater.
How you doing?
Good. You want to show me the site?
Yeah.
Folks are getting more interested in this because stormwater's starting to become a real issue.
Well, we decided that we wanted to do something that's green friendly.
Water in the next century will probably be the resource that the world is talking about and trying to conserve.
The driveway and walkway will all be one. So it's going to come right down here, halfway down the building. Can you tell me a little bit about the different types of surfaces that are available?
Yeah,
to me?
Definitely. There's a couple higher end options, which are like porous concrete and porous asphalt. If you're talking about Tropical Storm Irene, like that 6 to 7 inches of rainfall that came down,
Yeah.
If you had enough gravel underneath this, all of that water would have gone straight down and none of it would have ran off into the street, which is great. If you think about a rainstorm coming down, like this is coming on pretty quick, but it barely pools on the surface. And it just goes right through. So there's absolutely no runoff coming off of that, like LID. The folks who have done it, things have been really great. They're really happy with it. So this is your driveway, huh?
Yep.
Looks solid, looks good.
Thank you. I installed it back in 2009. I have been super happy with it.
Well, Jen's actually redoing her driveway.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I figured she could come take a look at this.
Oh.
Can we see?
See it in action?
See it in action?
Sure.
Yeah.
What you really are dealing with is it's not that it's permeable, the paver itself is not permeable, just the spaces in between.
Most importantly, how much did it cost?
I believe the total cost of installation of this driveway, which is about 450 square feet, was around $4,000. That's not including the pavers, so you'd have to add the cost of the pavers on top of that. Everything added up, you're usually looking about 10 to 12 max.
The folks that haven't done it yet, cost does come up as an issue. So we are soon launching a program. It's a program called Let It Rain. And so we're able to provide folks with financial incentives for installing some of these practices. So a rain barrel, for instance, may get you $25 back. And putting in a pervious driveway, you may be able to get up to $1 per square foot back on the cost of installing that. Everybody lives in a watershed, no matter where you are. So folks are starting to realize that, especially with climate change and all the flooding. So they're starting to put more and more of these practices in, which is fantastic. A lot of this stuff is easier than folks think. It's not very hard to do. It's just a matter of doing it.